kilometers. That is the distance between northern Venezuela and Miami. Flight time for a modern cruise missile at subsonic speed, 11 minutes. Flight time for a ballistic missile on a depressed trajectory, 7 minutes. These numbers did not matter last week. These numbers were theoretical, academic, the kind of calculations defense analysts run during peacetime exercises and then file away because the scenarios seem too improbable to warrant serious planning. But those numbers matter now because Russia just positioned systems in Venezuela that turn theoretical into operational. And major American cities just entered a threat envelope they have not faced since the Cold War. The discovery began with routine satellite surveillance, overhead imagery of Venezuelan military installations, standard monitoring that intelligence agencies conduct constantly across regions of interest. One image showed cargo on an airstrip outside Caracas, large, rectangular, covered partially with tarps. Analysts flagged it for standard processing. Initial assessment suggested industrial equipment. Venezuela receives shipments constantly. Most are mundane. But this particular configuration did not match known patterns for commercial cargo. The dimensions were wrong. The thermal signature suggested climate-controlled transport, and the security perimeter around the cargo was inconsistent with civilian logistics. Enhanced imaging revealed more. When analysts zoomed in, when they applied spectral filtering, when they cross-referenced the shape against databases of military hardware, the identification was unmistakable. Russian missile launcher components, not old Soviet-era systems, not obsolete hardware being dumped on a desperate ally. Modern platforms, the same systems Russia deploys in Europe, the same systems capable of carrying multiple warhead types, the same systems designed for rapid deployment, concealment, and operation in hostile electromagnetic environments. The first image alone was alarming. But satellite passes 6 hours later confirmed something worse. The components were no longer separate. They were. This is Psalms 13. Psalms chapter 13. You see, it's the book of Psalms 13 and verse 2. You see, Psalms 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul? You see, how long, man? How long, man? You see, these devils shucking and jiving. They in a frenzy. They are scared. These fucking crackers, these fucking devils, these peckerwoods, these honkies. You see? And these stinking ass bitches, bro. Especially so-called black women. You see? Bitches, period. All these hoes, bro. Especially when they come to brown men. They terrified, petrified. You understand? You see? Because they could see when it comes to society. They can see it's a transition of power. They see it. You see? You know what I mean? Psalms chapter 13. Psalms chapter 13 and verse 2. You see? Psalms 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul? You see? You on your dig? You know what I mean? Did you catch that? Did you see that? Believe that? You see? You know? Psalms 13 and verse 2. Psalms chapter 13. Psalms chapter 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul? You see? Having sorrow in my heart daily, question mark. That's the key. You see?
He said daily. So what is he talking about, man? I'm suffering. You see? We suffering, bro. Can't catch a break, man. And it's filthy, nasty, disgusting ass place. You see? This is why we need an EMP. We need a major cyber attack. We don't give a fuck about your Christmas, man. Believe that. You see? We tired of these fucking goddamn evil ass holidays, man. How long? How long? You see? Paganism, pagan, hating ass holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. You see? New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Fuck this evil ass shit, man. You see? Transformers, bitch ass niggas walking around this bitch with their dicks cut off. You see? Wearing wigs, faggot ass niggas, man. Wearing dresses. You see? You know what I mean? How long we gotta keep dealing with this shit? You see? You know what I mean? Psalms chapter 13. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 13 and verse 2. How long shall Psalms 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul? You see, having sorrow in my heart daily. King David, he was very agitated, aggravated. He was upset. You see, because the children of Israel, we not in the ruler seat. Did you catch that? Did you see that? Believe that? You see, you know. Psalms 13 and verse 2. Psalms chapter 13 and verse 2. How long shall I take counsel in my soul? You see, having sorrow in my heart daily. You see, how long shall my enemy be exalted over me? You see, he said what? You see, that's the key. That's the point. That's the point. That's the key. You see, how long shall my enemy be exalted over me? You see?
Assembled. Russian technicians, identified through subsequent intelligence gathering, were conducting systems checks. Venezuelan military personnel were present but appeared to be observing, not operating. This was not a training scenario. This was not Venezuela receiving weapons it would control. This was Russian military infrastructure being established on Venezuelan soil, with Caracas providing territory, security, and political cover. Inside the Pentagon, reaction was immediate. Northern Command, responsible for Homeland Defense, elevated monitoring protocols. Intelligence agencies began emergency reconstruction of how these systems arrived without triggering earlier alerts. Naval assets in the Caribbean received new tasking orders, and classified briefings moved up the chain to National Security Council level within hours. Because the implications of Russian missiles in Venezuela extend far beyond the immediate military threat. They represent a fundamental shift in hemispheric security that undermines assumptions American defense planning has rested on for generations. The Western Hemisphere has been considered American strategic space since the Monroe Doctrine. Not through formal empire, but through overwhelming power projection capability that made challenging U.S. dominance in the region.
Right, so that means it's over. It's over for these crackers, man. These honkies. You understand? You see, it's over. Eat them. Let's read it. You see? Obadiah 1. See, Esau, Edom is the white man, so-called white people. You understand? You see, they hate the book of Obadiah. The Bible ain't got nothing to do with their evil ass. You see? You know what I mean? Obadiah chapter 1 and verse. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 1. Close out. You see? Obadiah 1 and verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. This is what he witnessed and seen. You see? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai power concerning Edom. Who the fuck is Edom? So-called white people. The red Hebrew Edomites. These fucking vipers, these cobras, these pythons, these serpents. You see? They hate niggas, man. They hate niggas. These evil, wicked ass motherfuckers. You see? They bitch ass going into hardcore bondage slavery. Hell yeah, man. Sooner than later. You understand? You see? You on your dig? You know what I mean? You know. See? You see? We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh. Ooh. Who? Who? The men of the faith. That's who. You see? Us brothers that's doing the work every single day. You see? Got these evil ass crackers, man. These fucking peckerwoods, these hunkies, terrified, petrified, frightened to death. You see? You know what I mean? Scared straight, man. Worrying about what the fuck we gotta say. You see? That's why, man, when it comes to this great, great, great gospel, it cut people. You see? It cuts them deep, man. It cuts them deep. We can't worry about your feelings. We emotional, sensitive motherfuckers. Fuck you motherfuckers, man. You see? You know what I mean? I'm not holding back, man. They've been taking down my channels all year. Believe that. You see? See? I mean, month after month, whatever, however, man. They just took down my channel, what? Less than 30 days ago. You see? You know what I mean? And before the winter time, I want to say late summer or hold up. You see, I think it was late summer or autumn. They took down one of my other channels. Ain't that something? You see, this great, great, great gospel, man. They got people petrified, terrified, frightened to death. They are scared straight. You see? You know what I mean? Yes, when it comes to certain brothers, man. But they think we crazy. Fuck you motherfuckers. You see? You know what I mean? Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 1. Obadiah 1 and verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. You see? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai power concerning Edom. They don't like that, man. They want to be Russians, Grecians, Italian, Sicilian. No. You see, but Sicilian, you see, yeah, Philippines, things that such. You see, some Italians, they are Israelites, strangers and foreigners, you see, but they don't want to be Edom. They want to call themselves Russians and I'm American. I'm proud to be American. You see, you know what I mean? You know, we have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, you see, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Ooh, that's talking about the men of the faith. You see, you know what I mean? And an ambassador is sent among the heathen. You see, arise ye and let us rise up against her and battle. That's the key. You see, right here, what you see on the screen, man. What this dude acknowledging. You understand? You see? See? These devils, man, these fucking devils, they in a frenzy. They don't know what to do, man. They scared straight. You see?
Unthinkable for any rival. Russia could not sustain military presence here. China lacked the reach. No power could contest American control of approaches to U.S. territory. That assumption just collapsed. Russia demonstrated it can move strategic systems into the hemisphere, can position them, can protect them through Venezuelan sovereign cover, and can threaten American cities from distances that compress warning time to minutes. From Moscow's perspective, this move is symmetrical response. Russia sees U.S. missile systems in Poland and Romania, sees NATO infrastructure expanding toward Russian borders, sees weapons flowing to Ukraine that strike Russian territory. And Russia concludes that if the United States can position threats near Russian homeland, Russia can position threats near American homeland. This is not aggression, this is balancing. This is what great powers do when they feel encircled. They find pressure points. They create vulnerabilities in the adversary's security architecture. They force the adversary to experience the same strategic anxiety they themselves feel. But from Washington's perspective, Russian presence in Venezuela looks destabilizing. It looks like Moscow exporting confrontation into a region that should remain stable. It looks like Russia taking advantage of Venezuelan economic collapse to establish military foothold that threatens American security. And when both sides see the same action through opposite lenses, when both believe they act defensively while the other acts offensively, the conditions for crisis intensify. Venezuela's motivations are equally clear. The Maduro government faces sustained pressure from Washington, economic sanctions, diplomatic isolation, support for opposition forces. Maduro needs protection, and Russia offers something the United States cannot tolerate easily: a military presence that makes regime change operations exponentially more dangerous. Because now, any action against Maduro risks confrontation with Russian forces. Any strike on Venezuelan government facilities risks hitting Russian personnel. Any escalation in Venezuela risks triggering responses from Moscow that could spiral beyond the hemisphere. This is strategic insurance for Maduro. Russian missiles are not just weapons, they are shields. They are guarantees that Washington must think carefully before pressuring Caracas too hard. And Maduro paid for that insurance by providing Russia something equally valuable: geographic access, launch positions, surveillance sites, logistics support, and political legitimacy through sovereign invitation that complicates any American response. The systems themselves represent serious capability. Intelligence assessments suggest Russia deployed Caliber cruise missiles, possibly Iskander-M ballistic systems. Caliber can fly low, evade radar, and strike targets over 1,500 kilometers distant. Iskander-M provides shorter range but higher speed and maneuvering capability that defeats certain missile defenses. Both systems are dual capable. Both can carry conventional or nuclear warheads. And that dual capability creates the most dangerous ambiguity, because in crisis, when these systems activate, American early warning cannot determine warhead type until impact. And that uncertainty compresses decision-making to impossible timescales. Range calculations show that southeastern United States, Gulf Coast installations, Caribbean territories all fall within coverage. Major population centers, critical infrastructure, naval bases, air stations, energy facilities, targets that were previously beyond Russian conventional strike capability without crossing oceans or violating airspace of multiple nations. But from Venezuela, those targets become accessible, and accessibility changes deterrence equations fundamentally. The American public does not see what happens inside classified briefing rooms, does not see analysts calculating blast radii against population density, does not see war planners modeling evacuation scenarios for coastal cities, does not see communications specialists testing emergency alert systems that have not been activated seriously since the 1960s.
Right. You see? Hey, it is what it is, man. It's going down. It's going down, man. Babylon the Great is falling. You see, like say, call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All praise, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yasharala, Prince of Power, in Jerusalem, yup. In Jerusalem, yup. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All praise, Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shouts out Israelite foreigners, specular birds, you strangers that look like a Mr. Paleface, that look like a Edomite, that look like a red Hebrew Edomite. Peace, love to you, Israelite foreigners, specular birds, you strangers that look like a Mr. Paleface, that look like an Edomite, that look like a red Hebrew Edomite. Peace, love to you, call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All praise Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom, shalom, shalom to 144,000, the elect, the women and men and children. It's going to make it to the kingdom. The fathers, apostles, and elders, and watchmen, and servants, and prophets, a great millstone. I learned this truth from only through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All praise Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, brothers and sisters, it's edified. It's on to the next one. Shalom.